What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Boy Detectives Presents. My name is Anthony Zanfrelli.
And I'm Anthony Zanfrelli. Oh, wait, no. I'm Will Van Antwerp. We're the Boy Detectives. And today, we're drafting Nintendo characters. Isn't that right, Anthony?
That is correct. Last week, we had the horny movie character draft, which went very well. We do have a video from the winner. It says directed directly at Will Van Antwerp.
Cat alert. We got a cat alert.
Matt, can we play the video? Wow, wise words from our past winner, Anthony Zanfrelli. Will, it seems like you have to really step it up in this draft and drafts going forward.
That was the video? Was just you holding up your middle finger to the camera?
It appears so.
Oh my God.
It appears so. That was the video.
Listen, if you voted for Anthony and you're watching the show right now, turn this off, shut the camera, and go into a dark room and think about yourself for a while. The minions are not horny.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the people have spoken. We're the silent majority. We won the vote.
The minions are basically kids, so I think you should be on some kind of list, Anthony.
We've talked about this. They're older than the dinosaurs. They can procreate. Okay. We've gone through the whole discussion on Twitter. You know, the time to fight this battle was right after I made the pick, and you missed your shot.
I will never stop fighting the battle that the minions aren't horny. But I don't want to get too bogged down on it because we've got a big show up today. I'm really excited for the audience to give itself a chance to redeem itself with the Nintendo draft. So, Anthony, why don't you introduce our guests?
Sure. Audience, please give a nice, warm welcome to Maya Staten and Dan Dropkin Frank.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Hello. So happy to be here. I want to say first things first, I'm here to win. And second things second, I'm here to make sure that Will does not win.
Excellent.
Where is this coming from? I thought we were cool.
We're very, very cool, you and I. But also that is my outlook.
Sounds like you got some shit to work out.
I agree, Dan.
I want to talk about the dough making thing that was going on right before this. There was a beautiful shot of 1950s cake being made in huge vats, and it made me salivate incredibly. Is that a thing you do to get your guests all riled up?
Yeah, well, it's just too much bread, you know. It's too much bread.
Do you get it? It's about the bread.
I had no say in the making of the pre-show video for 2MB Studios, but I do appreciate it. A special shout out.
You guys crushed it with that one.
Thank you to Matt working tech behind the scenes here on the show.
Thank you, Matt.
So Maya, why don't you tell us how Nintendo has shaped you? What caused you to suggest this as a topic?
Oh, that's such a good question. So I love Nintendo. I have since I was very young. I would say that Nintendo and my childhood are inseparable. My dad gave me my first video game, Pokemon Fire Red, for the Game Boy Advance when we moved to Israel. I spent a year of school living there, and it was a big change for me. So he wanted to comfort me by giving me a video game, and he didn't know it, but he basically assigned an entire sector of my personality to video games with that. So, he should have gotten me a microscope or something, but he didn't. And now we're here. I love Nintendo. I think that, corporations, they're usually evil. Is Nintendo evil? Probably, but they make a lot of fun stuff. I'm into that.
High praise from the chat saying that you're the best smasher that it looks like Britt Mitchell has ever smashed with.
Oh, wow. Well, that's very sweet.
Well,
yeah,
I am very good at smash.
Seems like your whole life has been leading up to this moment.
And a big shout out to Dan. The bread draft idea has really caught on. You can come back in a few weeks. But with that, Dan, would you consider yourself to be a gamer? And if so, why?
Wow. I am a gamer. I truly am. I have been obsessed with some form of digital games since 7th grade. And I think most of that stems from the fact that I wasn't allowed to game growing up. I wasn't allowed a system. My parents bought like oat cereal and healthy natural foods from the local co-op.
Those two
Yeah.
go hand in hand.
Well, one or the other.
Totally
always.
do.
Right. And then I gained a little bit of like puberty, I guess. I gained a little bit of like, ability, mobility. And all of a sudden I could drive places and buy my own shit, and I went hard. So
Did you say you leveled up?
I leveled up. That was too good, Maya. So I used to play with my friend Algie growing up, my best friend. We had an N64. He had an N64, and I just wanted to play. He wanted to go sledding. I wanted to play N64. But yeah, through Yahoo Pool to online poker, I've been a gamer my whole life.
Very cool. We'll talk about online poker later, but that's not the point of the draft.
That's right.
Let's
Matt,
go
you
to
can
the
share my
40
screen.
Yeah, let's go to the 40-yard dash. I'll just note today I had a Google Doc open with my draft sheet while I was working, and I was sharing my screen on something else, and I closed it, and a guy I work with was like, why do you have an Excel sheet that says Warrior?
It's our project name.
All right, let's go to the dash.
All right, this will determine the draft order.
Wow, suspense.
All right, here we go.
Big
Mine out
money.
to an early lead. Oh, Wilt.
Early lead, let's go. I haven't won one of these in a while.
This is amazing, by the way.
Let's go.
I'm in the lead. I've got this.
Patrick Quicksand at the 50-yard line?
I was definitely in first.
Will, what did you eat today?
Yeah, Will, what's going on?
I don't even want to.
You know what I
talk
like
it.
about that is that it's reflective of how I run in real life. Just one pose that I'm holding for 100 yards.
Trying to drag yourself through.
Yeah.
There is no way that like my knees would hold up to actually have that result if we did an actual sprint.
One of these days we should do a real 100-yard draft.
Oh man.
Okay.
All right, so we will be drafting one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, one tight end, one kicker, and a defense, which will be some type of group of characters. We've also decided to maximize each team to one Pokemon if they want. Just so you don't load up on six sick Pokemon. I'll probably be a future
Can't have more
draft.
than 6.
That's right. That's right. That's all you're allowed. Six Pokeballs. I am up first, and I already know my pick. I don't know why I'm looking at my board. This is a player that I desperately wanted, and I'm so excited to get.
Don't do it.
It's a running back, and I'm not sure it's even on any of your boards. I just really wanted this pick. My running back is Bullet Bill.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That is a good pick.
Oh, my God.
Well done, sir.
And basing off of all of your responses there, I probably could have waited until round 6 to pick Bullet Bill.
I have no idea who Bullet Bill is. I'm trying to play along.
He's the bullet from Mario.
Come on. You and I
Nice
know that.
smile.
These are Nintendo properties only, correct?
Yes, Dan, that's
Correct.
such a good question
Great
from Dan
question.
Chapa, because we specifically discussed these are Nintendo properties, not things that are published on a Nintendo system by a different publisher. So the Rabbids, they might be on Nintendo Switch only, but that's Ubisoft. So no Rabbids here.
Right. So now this is Bullet Bill. He's extremely fast, literally faster than people driving on go-karts. He does have hands, which was important. I made sure not to pick Bonsai Bill. I picked Bullet Bill. He's got hands. He can hold on to the ball. He just full steam ahead. Good luck tackling a literal bullet.
I remember Bullet Bill as going very, very slow, and you kind of had to avoid him while avoiding other things. Maybe I'm
he
misremembering.
goes faster than carts, but Mario himself can outrun him. So it's kind of a
Makes you rethink the whole concept of Mario Kart when they're in go-karts that go slower than their sprint speed.
Yeah, you see the guy just running next to them in the cart, keeping up easily.
I
Okay,
mean,
Dan, you're up.
I'm watching highlight film of Bullet Bill right now, and I got to be honest, he looks like a 4.7 40 guy at most. I mean,
Okay, well, he just murdered
he's
Mario.
flying around here like an actual bullet. He's
He's
more of a
underwater
grinder.
though. Is that
Now,
worth?
That's true.
yeah, I
This
have
is-
a point of
this is
contention.
total-
I
This
believe
one,
those were
this one.
torpedo bills underwater. These are
Wait a minute.
bullet bills.
How about this? We're above water now.
Yeah.
I would.
Do you see anyone tackling a bullet? I don't.
He just jumped.
Wait,
He just did it. Literally the last thing he said. Okay, so
Okay.
I appreciate the creativity. I understand the pick, but to say he's impenetrable as a running back, I think would be dishonest.
We'll let the votes speak for themselves, Dan. You're
We
up.
can't spend 11 minutes on every pick, though, so let's go to Dan.
All right. So I looked at the entire world for the last 2 weeks of Nintendo, and I said, this is a top-heavy draft. This is not a draft with much depth. So I'm just going to take the star of the show with the number 1 pick. At quarterback, I'm taking Samus from Metroid. Samus is
Terrific.
has armor created by the Chozo. Samus is known for her role during Super Smash Brothers. If you ever play Super Smash Brothers Melee, if you ever played her, she would roll like crazy, avoid defenses easily, and she's a leader. She's got good aim, and she's a leader. And so I want her as my quarterback.
And she's got a cannon.
And she's got a cannon.
She's
There's
got
nothing not to
a
like.
cannon for an arm.
Yeah, she's got a literal cannon. That's a great pick. Samus was the number 1 quarterback on my board as well. Maya, you're
Yeah,
up.
I think that I am going to grab a fella that I suspect is popular in all of our drafts, and I am gonna go and I'm gonna draft Wario as my running back. Wario is he's a rather stocky and heavy set lad, but he is faster than he looks. He can keep up with Mario at the Olympics. So that's nothing to sneeze at in terms of athletic ability. He's also quite muscular. And I think another extremely important thing, there's a huge factor with Wario that doesn't always come across in games, being a televisual medium, but Wario stinks like shit. He famously eats entire heads of garlic, and he's known to fart and even poop his pants quite often. So I think there's a sort of sensual warfare going on that will make him harder for a defense to stop, because they just wouldn't want to get in the way in the first place.
We have a picture of Wario here.
Yes, Wario playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you.
With his famous mustache.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys,
NFL.
but I don't want to attack somebody that smells like shit. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I want to go on that route. I don't want to get anywhere near him. That's why we're the managers, not the players.
And I see Rachel asking in the chat if what I've said is canon. It is canon. Yes, Wario poops his pants. That is canonical. You can look it up. They changed it to farting a lot in America because they thought Americans couldn't handle it. But in Japan, he poops his
And
pants.
they were right, because we're still talking.
They were spot on, right? I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why my mom didn't let me play video games, is because
Wario shit himself.
trash like this.
Okay, Will.
Okay. I am very thankful. I thought Maya was going to take my first overall pick, but she didn't. So thank you very much, Maya. I'm going to not hesitate to take Bowser as my running back.
I almost went with Bowser instead, actually.
You would have broken my heart if you had. I mean,
I wish I did.
I don't understand how you take the smelly kid over a guy with literal spikes on his back. You want to talk about trying to bring somebody down? I'd much rather tackle somebody that stinks a little bit than somebody that is going to stab me if I try to do so. So again, a grinder, not the fastest person in the bunch, but really solid, a thick shell, and like I said, the spice. It hurts to tackle this guy and bring him to the ground.
Great pick.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with, honestly. I think
for me, it was that speed factor edged Wario out
Mhm.
over Bowser just a little bit.
I agree. Bowser does, run very slowly. He kind of waddles, honestly.
Mhm, mhm.
I think if you were low on Bullet Bill's 40 time, I think Bowser, you have to, you got to wonder what's going on in that front office.
Listen, I get it, but if he turns around and runs backwards through the hole, good luck.
Great point.
Now, before my next pick, I realized we skipped a really crucial segment, which was telling everybody your team name and who your coach is.
Oh God!
Oh yeah, we totally did. Wow.
I'll start us off. I am Kirby Fully Loaded. A hilarious pun, nothing to do with football, but too good to pass up. And my coach is going to be a mushroom. Now, I understand that, might not be the most inspiring pick, but I'm thinking, what do you want out of a coach? You want him to bring out the best in your players? Well, what is better for the players than to be supercharged, which is what a mushroom does in Mario. So, maybe they're down at halftime everybody takes a turn taking a bite of the coach. They all supercharge themselves and become the best version of themselves in the second half.
Just take a bite of the coach.
Mm-hmm. Much more effective than when Giants had Tom Coughlin and they tried to do that.
Fair play. My team name is, of course, the Super Bowl Nintendo Entertainment Squad. That's SNES for short. I was really thoughtful about who I wanted for my coach, and ultimately I went with Wii Fit Trainer. She just, when it comes to knowledge and understanding of all things athletic, this woman is the gold standard. She has played a variety of sports at the professional level. She is, of course, a professional trainer. And, not for nothing, she has quite a strategic mind. So she's really good at calling plays as well. That bod. Wow.
Rockin' bod.
Rockin' bod.
Great bod.
Absolutely. Dan.
I'm up. My team name is DK Metcalf's Jungle Parkway. DK Metcalf is a wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks and a monster of a man. And it's a pun with Donkey Kong's Jungle Parkway. I don't know if you guys figured that out, but it's a pun.
Sure did.
Yeah. And
a stretch to call it a pun, I would say.
By definition, it is not a pun, but
yes.
That's all I can come up with.
Donkey Kong Metcalf.
My coach is none other than Dr. Mario. Now, as I thought through the process of selecting a coach, I thought of intellect. Today's coaches are savvy. They're workaholics. And Dr. Mario has his MD. He must have worked hard at some point in his life. Now, he may not know shit about football, but he can be retrained and he's got the work ethic. So I'll take him to run my team.
Right. Healing up your team. My team is the Rumble Pack. A hilarious pun based off of the Rumble Pack inserted into your N64 controller. And my coach is none other than this me of John Madden that I found online. I think if you want to coach, you can't get much better than John Madden. Coached for the Oakland Raiders for 10 years, never once had a losing record, won a Super Bowl, and he's going to do the same thing here with the Rumble Pack.
Dude, that John Madden me makes me Marge Simpson every time I see it.
All right, Will, you're back on the clock.
Okay.
Let it be known it's 8:22 and we're one round in.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of good stuff going on. But anyways, I'll speed it up and I will take my number one pass catcher on the board. I'm going to take Donkey Kong at wide receiver.
Oh, damn it.
I considered him for tight end, but I think overall, his body type, long arms, ability to stretch the field, brute strength. I think I like him as a DK Metcalf, ironically enough, type outside receiver. And to all the defenses out there, you got the yin and the yang. You can either take the spiky Bowser or you can try and compete against maybe the strongest character in the Nintendo arena, and that's going to be Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Metcalf.
Scouts say his hands aren't great. Do you have any comments on that?
He can hold barrels.
I think DK has solid hands.
So
yeah, hold football.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can grip barrels, I think you'll have no problem holding, a tiny little football. In his hand, it'll be like a Nerf ball.
Any concerns of him getting dragged down by his tie?
Ties are actually not game appropriate. They
Yeah,
fit
it's
the
not
league
regulation.
mandate, so he has to take those off like all
Yes, let's
jewelry.
trip it. Okay.
Which does power him down just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, you can just take a quick bite of coach before he gets out there and do some self
Fair
back
enough.
up.
That's synergy, baby.
All right, Maya, back to you.
For my second pick, I'm going to go with the wide receiver. I'm going to grab someone a little more recently installed in the Nintendo canon, and that is Springman. And if we can pull up a photograph of Springman, I would love that to just sort of illustrate my point about what makes him such a great wide receiver.
Matt, I got him up.
This man has incredibly stretchy arms,
Wow.
which means that can he get in position for a pass? Yes. Does it matter where he is on the field? Only marginally. The man's got reach. Good luck defending that. That's all I'm saying.
Now, the good thing here is that he is wearing boxing gloves, which is very difficult to catch a football in.
Now, Anthony, I want to say that similar to DK's tie, I believe that those boxing gloves are not regulation. I don't think that he would be allowed to wear those on the football.
Just get the stretchy arms, but regular hands.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's
Anthony,
good.
you know what 2 words come to mind when I think of Springman?
What 2 words? Spring and man?
Catch radius.
Catch radius. Absolutely. The best catch radius I've ever
sideline
seen.
catch radius, and even vertically. You want to throw that ball 20 yards above his head.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine he can block every field goal.
I didn't even think about that.
Man,
All
get
right.
this man on special teams. All right, Dano, back to you.
Okay, I am up. I'm checking my board. Okay. I'm gonna go for tight end here. You know, the game has changed. If it was 1995 in the NFL, tight end wouldn't have nearly as much value as it does in 2020. But in 2020, the game's wide open. There's a lot of passing going on. Travis Kelce is the #1 tight end today. And so with this second round pick, I'm going to draft Waluigi as my tight end. All right. And here's why. Waluigi is competitive. He's mischievous, and he don't care what you think. And he's wiry, he's long, and he's going to catch a lot of passes down the middle, regardless of what defense you throw at him.
Great. He's great. He is tall and lanky. He's got that good catch radius as well. He does often get flagged for excessive celebration.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
That's something to look for.
You know, it's the cost you incur with a Waluigi on your team.
That's right.
But I've got some chemistry characters coming up, and that'll offset that.
I have a more realistic version over here. Is this what you're picturing? Is this like the real life version of Waluigi you had in mind?
It's not exactly what I'd envisioned, to be honest with you. It's about 100 times creepier, but if he catches passes, I'll take him.
I'll make a note also to my fellow drafters. If you're thinking about who you want for kicker, don't Google Pokemon with big feet, because that leads to a different section of the internet, and I couldn't recommend it less. All right, next.
All right. I'm back on the turn here. I am going to take a kicker, and I feel like I could be wasting this. I could be wasting this character too early. But it's someone who's very quick feet, very strong feet. I'm going to take Fox McCloud as my kicker.
Wow. As your kicker?
My kicker. Mostly so that you guys don't get him at wide receiver or running back, but also because of this right here.
Wow.
Look at those feet.
Anthony, I have to say, Fox was actually one of my top picks for kicker as well, precisely because all of his attacks in Smash Bros. Are kick-based.
Correct. And as I have never once played Star Fox and only know him through Super Smash Bros., that is exactly what I think of when I think of Fox McCloud.
I'm mesmerized. Great pick.
So I'm back here on the clock, and I am going to take a defense. I am going to take a bunch of charging Chucks as my defense.
What?
I knew for a complete fact you've never heard of this before.
I wasn't allowed to play video games until high school. I'm behind the curve on all of these.
This is Charge and Chuck. This is Charge and Chuck, another bunch of baddies. Here I also have a video of a segment of Super Mario Odyssey where you can become Charge and Chuck. And look at this bastard. Who's gonna block that? He already comes in wearing football pads. And to be honest, I didn't have that many defense picks, so Charge and Chuck it is.
Oh, that's me. I'm on the clock.
Yep, back to Dan.
Charge and Chuck just went off the board. Too bad. Had him in a lot of things. Charge and Chuck. Here I go. Okay, so this is a deeper cut. I'm going to select with my running back, Ninjara, from our favorite video game ARMS, as we all played growing up. ARMS, ARMS. Ninjara.
The same one that Springman is from.
Oh, yeah, of course. I knew that. I wasn't on fandom earlier, understanding who all people are.
Is Ninjara what position?
Running back. The first thing is he has chains for arms, which is a nice thing. He can disappear at a moment's notice. He's the student of stealth. I think as a running back, to be able to be sneaky is important. He is a serious and dedicated man. That somehow made it to his profile. And he's only 21, so he has years ahead of him in the league. And so I'm taking youth and upside with Ninjara.
Matt, can you cut over to my screen real quick? Yeah, so we've got Ninjara up for everyone unfamiliar, including me. Now, here's my concern. Let me tell you, Dan, and I think you know where I'm going. It's ball security.
I know. I knew you were going there. Yep.
How do you prevent a man with loose arms like this from fumbling?
Yeah, he looks awfully prone to dropping a ball.
He's 21. He can learn that, you know? That's I really am picking the upside here.
Dan, I disagree. You can't teach solid arms.
You can't teach like human arms. Well,
yeah,
I don't know. I
can't
think
teach human arms.
Oh, wait, I saw a couple of fingers on those.
I mean, listen, he looks bad.
You see a finger in that photo?
It's a very upsetting picture.
And that's the one I'll be using in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
All right.
Ninjara running back.
Ninjara running back.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm going to take a leaf out of Anthony's book, and I'm gonna grab a more popular character out of concern that someone else may snatch him up first. I'm gonna grab Kirby as my kicker. Yeah,
Kicker.
Kirby is my kicker, and I know that seems like I know it seems like a weird choice to have Kirby on the draft at all, given his stubby arms and legs. Not much of a catcher, but Kirby is incredibly powerful. In fact, Kirby is the most powerful Nintendo character out of all of them. So much so that he can punch a planet in half. Like he can just punch the ground and the entire planet splits in half. So my thinking is that he can make a field goal probably across multiple football fields if need be.
Does Kirby have legs?
Kirby has feet. Whether or not he has legs somewhere between his feet and his body is frankly immaterial to his ability to kick. Because he can kick. It's been documented that he is able to kick. And I am confident that he can kick strongly and accurately.
So I am devastated right now. I'm devastated right now because I had actually had all of Kirby's transformations as my original #1 defense and just assumed he would make it back to me. I just assumed he wouldn't make it back to me, and I went with Charge and Chuck, not even thinking. Oh, no.
If my emotions didn't clue you in, I was going to take Kirby with my next pick. As
they did indeed clue me in, and I am feeling very good about taking a leaf out of Anthony's book, accomplishing my goal of preventing you from winning.
Defense. Now, what do you say to the chat's assertion that Kirby got that good suck?
I think that's correct. Kirby does have that good suck. Thank you.
I also had him as a wide receiver. He can fly, and he's got the catch radius with his mouth, which you don't see.
It was Einstein who said, "For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction." That's the
Yes,
best
it was.
defense. That's what Kirby does. Anyways, we're moving on. Great pick, Maya.
Thank you.
I am going to
Pretty
take
jealous.
my tight end and closing out my skill position players, and I am going to take Kraid, who is from the Metroid series.
Can we get a picture of Kraid?
We can absolutely get a picture of Kraid.
So
Giant,
what about
Go ahead.
Kraid appeals to you from a football perspective?
I think there's a few things this picture will show you. One, a hulking creature that's going to tower over the defense. Two, that body type is nothing but tight end. I mean, if you want to run behind this guy, which I do, you got to deal with his belly spikes, number one, and then, oh no, you got Bowser's back spikes. Every run play for me is going to have some level of spikes.
Some kind of spikes.
But
That's
also,
really good energy.
What's your
Very good
concern with
synergy.
dinosaurs? They have short arms. This is clearly a normal arm size dinosaur. These are not short at all.
Now, with Will, I realize you now have Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Kraid. You're seriously going with a power running game here.
I'm just going with the power team all around. I know there's a lot of small kitty characters in the Nintendo universe, and I just want to stomp all over them.
Wow.
Fuck covering Springman. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll give it up. Springman was a good pick.
All right, Will, back to you.
All right, but before we do that, let's do our favorite segment here, which is a little bit of a can check. Anthony, start us off.
The cell
Drinking
phone.
out of Treehouse Haze. That Will got me because I only drink during these shows, and I'm not done with them yet.
I'm drinking a Medford Brewing Company Phantom New England IPA. I don't know if this is a real brewery, but I found it in the liquor store, and here I am.
I didn't know that this was a thing, so I'm having some delicious water.
And I've got a Treehouse Beginner's Mind, because I try to approach everything with the mind of a child. Let's go on to our fourth round pick. I think it's time for me to take a quarterback. I've got my skill positions exactly where I want them to be, and I need someone to get the ball to them, someone who's got the ability to really blast the ball down the field. That's going to be Mega Man.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We can reuse the cannon for an arm joke here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Will, I do want to throw a flag on this play.
Thank you.
Mega Man is not a Nintendo character. He's a Capcom character.
Whoa!
What?
So I think you may have to rethink your pick here.
Okay.
Mega Man is Capcom.
All right. We're gonna shift it on the fly. That's
Audible,
fine.
some might say.
That's cool with me. I'm going to take the number one defense on my board, and that is going to be banana peels. Banana peels, exceedingly effective, 100% success rate, and if you step on them, you immediately fall over. So good luck against a field literally populated with banana peels.
That's so good.
Good pick.
Oh man, I want that.
Great. I am going to do what Will could not and secure a quarterback. I almost went with this character the first round because I wasn't sure how popular or well known it would be. Now I feel pretty comfortable. No one else has this character on their list. I'm going to draft Master Hand for my quarterback. I think personally that a giant floating hand would be very good at throwing and very difficult to tackle and block. And yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with Master Hand.
Maya, you're
That's
killing
a
me.
Smash Brother, right?
Come again?
Tell us
Maya,
more
you're
about
killing
Master
me.
Hand.
Master Hand is a telekinetic hand that probably represents in some form Smash and Kirby creator Masahiro Sakurai's sort of feeling of control or wrestling of control between himself the Nintendo Corporation and the fans of his games. It's a boss fight in just about every Smash game that exists. Master Hand's also featured in Kirby, and he can do a bunch of cool magic stuff. Sort of seems like there's no limit to the extent of its powers, honestly. So yeah,
he's literally what you need to throw the ball. It's a great pick.
Yeah, it's very ideal.
Maya, I am furious right now.
I'm in awe.
So happy.
Was that coming up, Anthony? Did you have that on the board?
Don't lie to us. Swear to God, Master Hand is #1 on my board right now, remaining as my quarterback.
I'm really glad that I'm able to cuck both you and Will tonight.
The whole point of the show, right? Anthony just had to get charging Chucky babies or whatever.
To think I could have gone. To think I could have gone Samus #1 and still gotten Bullet Bill, and then just taken Charge and Chuck last.
Yeah.
But hey, it's the price you pay. I feel like the goddamn Green Bay Packers in the draft right now.
If you prepared like your guest did, it wouldn't be this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the clock, and I'm gonna go wide out here. And when you want a wide receiver, you want someone who's gonna fetch. It's gonna fetch the ball. It's gonna retrieve. Okay.
Oh boy.
Anything thrown its way, it's gonna haul in. I am picking Dog from Duck Hunt. Okay, we're talking early Nintendo. Dog brought back every single duck that you shot down without fail. So Dog is my wide receiver.
That's really good, and you know there is precedence with Air Bud. I think you're in good hands there, man. That's a funny pick. All right,
Anthony, be really dramatic about revealing your pick because I have to go get another beer.
Okay, I got 2 anyway. This is Doug. Wow, man, look at him. He's so happy. Such a team player.
Retrieves those ducks, and he'll retrieve the footballs thrown to him by Samus.
Oh man, that's good. Fuck. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna throw caution to the wind here because now my team's in shambles already, and I'm gonna take a QB. I don't give a fuck about it right now. I'm gonna take Funky Kong as my goddamn quarterback.
Ooh.
No, I had him.
Yeah, Funky Kong.
Everyone
Yes, I
has
did.
been up tonight, but me.
Look at Funky Kong. Look at how much swag is in Funky Kong.
He was my locker room guy.
Yeah, well, he's my locker room guy now. But look at him. What's a good comp for him? Is this Lamar Jackson? Is this Baker Mayfield? Is this?
I don't think
Cutler.
Is someone cool?
Funky Kong's coolness cannot be compared to someone in our mortal realm.
Agreed.
I got 2 to
Bordering
choose
on an
with
insult.
Funky Kong, #1. How's he going to be able to see down the field with that eye mask on?
It's a visor.
Number
He can
2,
totally see down the field.
I want Funk, like Beef of Wellington said, from my tight end, from my wide receiver. I'll even take a little swag at running back. I don't see Funky Kong getting in first in, last out, studying tape, grinding defenses.
Okay.
Nah, he's crushing beers on the beach every day.
Exactly, which is not. I want to work at quarterback.
So that's to last year's MVP.
Well, how's he doing this year?
We don't talk about it.
Exactly.
A little side piece on Funky Kong. In Mario, one of the games where he played baseball, Funky Kong used the surfboard as a bat. So he's surprisingly athletic and decent hand-eye coordination. So let's not underestimate him.
Thank you. All right, so now I need down to tight end or wide receiver. Okay, for tight end, I'm gonna grab some size here. I'm gonna go with. No, you know what? No, fuck it. I don't give a fuck team. I'm gonna go with Meta Knight as my tight end.
Ooh, Meta
Not a
Knight.
large man. He's Kirby sized.
Basically
Sounds
Kirby.
like a religious guy.
Basically Kirby, but he's got a sword. He can fly, which is great. He's got a sword, which is great. Yes, Meta World Knight. Just like he's Meta World Peace's cousin, Beef Wellington in the chat. He takes no prisoners. He is my tight end.
This is a pretty weak pick, Anthony. I'm going to throw that out there.
Yeah, it feels like a loser pick.
You think this feels like a loser pick?
I don't know anything about it, but I trust Maya and Dan. Loser.
Thank you for your vote of confidence.
Well, he's just going to fly all over your banana peels, so I'm not worried about your team.
Until I get that air banana peels at you, and then he slips on
banana peels. All right, Dan, you're up.
Yeah, let's move on from that pick. I don't really want to talk about that anymore. With my 5th round pick, I'm going to pick a defense. And when you think of defense, you think of pests, right? You think of aggressive camaraderie. You think of a team united. With my pick in the 5th round, I am picking the Penguins from Sherbetland, the Mario Kart Flower Cup, I think it was.
Oh my
I don't even know.
An extremely
it's a deep cut, but they would come at you from every angle and just fuck with your shit. And when you hit them, boom, spin around, stopped in your tracks. Penguins from Sherbetland, Mario Kart. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know my running back has spikes on his back. Has spikes on his chest. You want to take me down with little itty bitty freaking penguins?
Let's watch a video of Bowser running into a penguin in Mario Kart, and let's see what happens. Let's see how he fares.
All right.
All right, Maya, up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna round out. I'm gonna grab a tight end, and I think for me, I want my team to have a little more power behind it, and nothing says power like Ganondorf. He is the king of evil, and he does possess the Triforce of power. Additionally, I do seem to have cucked Will again, so that is excellent. Yeah, Ganondorf, he's very strong. He's faster than he looks. He's a really solid pick, I would say, in any position.
You cooked me thrice now because you took my pick twice and then you negated a 3rd pick of mine.
I'm so happy to hear that.
All right, Will, on the turn here.
I don't have anything to say, Maya, other than it was a great pick because I was literally about to make it. All right, so I have to rethink for the 3rd time who I want at quarterback. And with that in mind, I'm going to use my 1 Pokemon rule. And I am going to take an exceedingly strong Pokemon with a lot of throwing angles and the name Champ, which I think has good vibes. I'm going to take Machamp.
When you said you were going with a Pokemon, I thought it better be Machamp or it better not be actually a Pokemon. It better be a Digimon. And you were incorrect because that is the only correct choice. And so I commend you for making it.
Machamp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a great pick.
You talk about having a strong arm. He's got 4 strong arms. So, you could take down 3 of his arms with a tackle and you still have the 4th arm to get the pass off. And obviously with Donkey Kong and Kraid running down the field, you have 2 giant, strong options to pass the ball to.
He can stiff arm 3 defenders at once.
And throw the ball with the other. Yeah. So if you're thinking about, I don't know, running a bunch of penguins at him, for example, I think he'd be pretty well suited to defend himself against that attack and still get the ball off. All right. Now let's close it out.
He has psychic, so if anyone with a defense left wants to take a bunch of psychic Pokemon as your defense, go for it.
Now I am going to close out the draft with my kicker, and it's going to be, I think, a fan favorite here. Going to curry some favor with the audience. I'm going to take Kirby.
That's my kicker.
Yeah, Kirby.
What?
That's my kicker.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I meant Yoshi.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I meant Yoshi.
Oh no!
Good.
Sorry.
God damn it!
I was looking at Yoshi and I said Kirby. Maya, you're so far in my head right now.
I'm like incepting you from the past.
Exactly.
I am.
All right, Matt, if you come over, I think number one, basically his natural motion and static position and posing position is that of a kicker, right? He's basically kicking right now. Great foot to body ratio. He's can obviously drive a lot of strength through this foot. And third, most importantly, Yoshi, I think undeniably very strong kicker energy. He just seems like a kicker.
That's fair. Foot to nose ratio could use work.
Mm-hmm.
I had Yoshi as my receiver that was going to round out my team for that tongue catch radius.
Now, I'm going to round out my draft with defense, and I have a bunch of different defenses that I had picked out, none of which have been claimed. So this is tough for me, but I think ultimately the two that I am struggling between is Bowser's Army versus Nintendogs, and I think I'm going to go with the Nintendogs, and here is why. Dogs, as we know, are very cute, adorable, and so that serves two purposes here. One, to distract. Difficult to play good football when you want to pet that puppy, and two, there's the matter of optics to consider. Will your team may be full of powerhouses, but how will it look when those powerhouses are using their body spikes to impale dogs? I'll tell you, it's not going to look good.
It's not good for the league.
Now, there is one other thing to consider with Nintendogs as defense, which is that while many dogs are small or medium in size, some can grow quite large and quite powerful, especially if they're playing the defensive line in a football team on a regular basis. So I expect this to be a very strong defensive line, both in terms of raw strength, but also in terms of mental or, as Rachel so kindly put it before, psychic damage. So I feel really good about Nintendogs.
As a proud dog owner myself, I would hate to impale a dog in any circumstance, especially on the football field in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
All right. Nintendogs was my second defense behind Charge and Chuck, and it's just devastating to see the gap in where those two were taken. Dan, go ahead.
All right. For my final pick, I need a kicker to round out this wholesome team, and I'm going to grab Link. A underappreciated character, I'd say, in the Nintendo world. Link is a journeyman. He's been to every world. He's been in every game, I think. And he travels the country trying to rescue Zelda. And you need that kind of confidence, that resolve to be a kicker. In tense moments, you need to perform. And I think Link would do it for me.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, I get it.
It's a good pick, and I will say Link was next on my board for wide receiver.
This is the Anthony Cook draft.
It sure is. Oh my god. Okay. All right. I know what I'm doing. For wide receiver, closing out this draft, I am going to take Raccoon Mario.
Tanuki Mario.
Oh, Flying Mario. Yeah, of course.
Mario.
He's not a raccoon. He's a tanuki.
Have some goddamn respect.
It's a different creature.
Okay. All right. Is that how you spell tanuki?
It's transposed from the Japanese, so I think either way is fine.
Okay. I'm taking Tanuki Mario. He can fly. He looks cool, and I'm all out of options.
Yeah, really for me, Anthony.
Anthony, from a financial perspective, you have just secured all football fans who are also furries. You have that Venn diagram locked up.
Thank God. Between Fox and Tanuki Mario, I'm feeling good about that. There is an enormous overlap between furries and NFL fans.
I gotta imagine it's actually bigger than you would think.
That's probably true.
I bet it. I mean, someone's in those mascot costumes.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's kind of a
Good point.
national pipeline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's a great point. Maya.
All right. Well, that concludes it. We have 7 minutes left, so let's quickly recap. Maya, if you want to do a quick review of your team here.
Yes, my wonderful team is as follows. As coach, we have the illustrious We Fit trainer. Quarterback, Master Hand, the giant telekinetic hand. At running back, we have Wario. The wide receiver is Springman with his incredible reach. Tight end is Ganondorf, very powerful. Nintendogs on defense. You're barking up the wrong tree. That's the sign the fans hold up when they're playing defense. And Kirby is kicker to round out what I think is probably the best football team anyone's ever devised.
Strong team.
Dano, your team.
Really strong. I'm coached by Dr. Mario, a true academic and practitioner of the game and medicine. He'll do it all. I've got Samus as my quarterback. She has a cannon for an arm. I don't know if you knew that. At tight end, Waluigi, with his length and versatility, is going to catch many balls thrown his way. He's got a little mischief with him and a weird touchdown dance when he scores. Ninjara is only 21. Ninjara, the career is in front of him. At wide receiver, Dog from Duck Hunt is going to fetch every ball thrown his way. The Penguins from Sherbetland getting a lot of hate right now, but you don't want to mess with them when they come charging at you. And Link is my kicker.
Another strong team.
Will.
Yeah, so to recap, Kirby fully loaded. Unfortunately, did not get Kirby. My coach is the Super Mushroom, so that everyone can get a little bit of juice whenever they need it. Starting off, running back Bowser. Good luck tackling him. He's a load with spikes. Wide receiver Donkey Kong, incredibly strong, great hands. Tight end Kraid, spikes for a belly, good lead blocker, great size, good hands. Defense Banana Peels. You're going to be slipping all over the field. Good luck to everyone. QB Machamp. What's better than one strong arm? 4 strong arms. Enough said. And a kicker, we got Yoshi, fan favorite with the strong kicker energy.
Mm. All right, and I have the Rumble Pack here, coached by a me of John Madden, and I think this team is going to need all the football knowledge it can get. Defense, we got the Charge and Chucks. I promised we're a real Nintendo character. That's the sign our fans hold up when they're on defense. Quarterback, I have Funky Kong with the swag. He's going to be chucking it to Tanuki Mario, who's going to be flying downfield. Running back, we got Bullet Bill, kind of an unstoppable force. Meta Knight, who everyone in this draft is sleeping on right now at tight end. And I have Fox McCloud as my kicker. These are the squads. Real quick, did anyone have anyone else they were thinking of picking but couldn't quite squeeze them into their draft?
Well, I thought Zelda would also make a really fantastic wide receiver, sort of similar to my thinking on Springman in terms of just, what are her options for catching, because Zelda can teleport. And I think that similar to stretchy arms, that would be very difficult to defend against, even with banana peels or penguins in the way.
Dan, same question.
When you put it that way, you're right. So I had Ness on my board. Ness is a psychic, and being able to see the future could be helpful in football, regardless of how strong, brutish, athletic you are. If you see the future or you read people's minds, you can do whatever you need to. So and he didn't make the cut, but it was definitely food for thought.
Ness also could probably melt Machamp's brain and turn Machamp into a sextuplegic.
Exactly. Now I wish I drafted it. Now I'm regretting it.
Important question from the chat before we move on. Do I get a field full of banana peels, or am I limited to just 11 banana peels? I imagined just a field riddled with banana peels in
But
which everyone
Will-
was flipping over at all times.
You might want to consider that it would potentially behoove you to have a limited number of peels, because if the field is simply littered with peels,
It's
I think
also
they're
good
playing
when you're on
for
offense.
opportunity deep. I think your team is getting as hindered by that as the opposing team.
Well, the bananas come off the field when I'm on offense. So
But
the
you're
peels
but you're
to the
just
field.
so you have no physical beings blocking anyone
Just a
when your
fine
team is
layer
on
of
defense.
banana
There are
peels.
just but there's no incentive for the players of the team on offense to move quickly, so they could just walk, weave in and out of the banana peels very slowly to
Yeah,
reach
I'm
the
not
end
that
zone.
scared of the banana
Yeah.
peels. You can have as many as you want, honestly. We'll just walk
Yeah.
slowly over them,
Yeah.
take our
And
time.
they're honestly pretty easy to avoid in Mario Kart.
I think if this was I think this is not an expedient defense strategy, and it makes me very happy that you've run with it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. In the interest of time, Anthony, name one person, and then we'll keep moving.
King DDD. I considered taking at tight end, but he is just a fat penguin with a sledgehammer. I realized his arms wouldn't have the catch radius that a flying Meta Knight would have.
Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad. I can't believe none of those were taken
Right.
at the same
I
time.
had
Heavy hitter.
Mario sort of sitting in my reserves as a, like, if I'm cucked and I'm like Will and I just have no one, then I can just put Mario anywhere because he's just famously athletic and good at whatever it is that he's doing.
But then sometimes you pull Machamp out of your ass and save it. All right,
Yeah.
thank you so much to Maya and Dan for being with us and taking us the full hour. This was an incredibly fun draft. Come back anytime, and the results will be posted on Twitter shortly for you all to vote on.
That's right. Thank you all. And stay tuned on this channel for interesting points at 9 p.m. coming right up. Just don't touch anything. The stream will go right there. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to 2MB Studios. This has been Boy Detectives. I wish we had a catchphrase.
Hello? Hey man, have you seen my pants? Who is this? Oh, I'm sorry. This didn't even cross my mind. This is you, from the future. Excuse me? Well, how should I put this? One day, in the somewhat near future, you discover your own name in your phone's address book, so you dial that, and it turns out that you can talk to yourself in the past. Wait a second. You could do anything with that information. You could call into the past, and all you're worried about are your pants? Oh, you want to know something about the future? All right, well, how about this? My legs is cold, son. This is a waste of my time. What was that? What was what? Did you hear my pants? No, not your pants. Just forget about your pants for a second. Well, there's something at the door. Oh, all right. Yeah, do not open that door. Why? Machine elves. What? Machine elves. They're like an obsidian goblin from the netherworld. They're like the worst thing that's ever happened to mankind. Just don't open. You know, I feel like we're on the wrong topic here. Have you seen my pants? I got good news.
What good news? How do I defeat them?
Do you own a shotgun?
Of course not.
Well, good luck with that. No, I have good news. I found my pants.
Feed us.
My legs aren't cold. Things are really coming up, Jeff. You know what I mean? Things are really coming up, Jeff. You're welcome.
Let's face it, making popcorn can get messy. Hi there, I'm Kevin O'Flannery from television. Does this scene seem familiar to you? Does this remind you of anything? Or how about this? Well, looks like Tuesday to me. Making popcorn. Oh. Oh boy. Making popcorn. That hurt. Making popcorn. Are you kidding me? Popcorn. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Making popcorn. Making popcorn. Popcorn. Get messy. Are you kidding?
Making popcorn can get messy.
We good? Does that work for everyone here? Everyone okay with that? You can call it a wrap. You can just splice whatever you need into whatever product you. Cool. All right. Thanks for having me, guys. This is a great day on set. Whew. To be honest with you, I'm a little tired. Oh man. Damn. You know, after a long day on set, I like to reach for a nice cold Heineken. The official beer of infomercials.
How y'all doing out there tonight? My name's Josh Poyer. This is Interesting Points. Basically, it's a show that I created about 7 years ago, kind of talking about what makes people interesting, kind of just basically shooting the shit with a bunch of funny people and just having a good time, based off of British panel shows. Yeah, I've done this spiel enough times. But basically, the show's a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy yourself. I'm going to bring my guest on now. My first guest is Emmy Service. How you doing, Emmy?
I'm pretty good. I'm here with my assistant. He decided this was the perfect time to come and check out what I'm doing.
Nice. Love it. I got Justin P. Drew, a Shushy. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing pretty goddamn great.
Good to see you, man. I got Nathan Burke. How you doing, Nathan?
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Good. And I've got Mike Moran. How you doing, Mike?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on. So I figure, we actually start every show with something I like to call the banter, which is basically just kind of shooting the shit about a specific topic. And I figured today would be underrated movies. Just talking about what movies are underrated, why they're underrated, and kind of what you feel about them and how you like them. I think myself, probably one of the biggest underrated movies in terms of just being a great movie. A lot of people don't really mention it too much. Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh,
fantastic.
Never seen it.
The giant. Who said that?
Oh, this way.
Everyone will be very mad at me, but I am very. Oh God, that's a John Carpenter that I've never seen, and I feel very bad about it. And I felt bad about it for a long time.
Oh, it's champion awful. I remember as a kid it being on TV in the background and like some sort of random barbecue thing, and just like the giant eyeball monster was like burned into my memory as a kid.
It's not awful at all. It's fantastic.
I love Starman. People don't talk about Starman very much. That's an underrated John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm a John Carpenter, huge John Carpenter fan. I think he's probably one of the best directors. I mean, I've mentioned it in Shoshi's page a lot, a few times.
Shoshi's Cinema.
Shoshi's Cinema.
Shoshi's Cinema.
A few times about how much I love John Carpenter, and it's probably getting a little sickening, to be honest with you. But Emmy, what about you? What's an underrated movie for you?
This movie is so underrated. I'm gonna sound hipster for a second, but it's like I don't know if you guys have heard of this movie, but it's called My First Mister, and it stars Albert Brooks and Lily Sobieski when she was still relevant. It's like it's one of those like small, quiet kind of films that like I don't even know when it came out in theaters if it did at all, but it's just kind of I think like a Harold and Maude type relationship where Lily Sobieski is like a 17-year-old just graduating high school, and Albert Brooks is Albert Brooks, and they have like a really weird kind of relationship. And it's not a romantic one, it's not gross like that, but it's just like a really nice, like sincere relationship, and like the story surprisingly gets to you, and like it's one of those movies that like I need a good cry, I'm gonna watch this movie. So yeah.
So it's not romantic, so it's nothing like Harold and Maude, which was
I might not have actually seen Harold and Maude. I might have assumed that it wasn't actually romantic because
Harold and Maude was definitely romantic and definitely kind of.
Harold and Maude is downright sexy.
I know you're right. You're absolutely right, man. Ruth, Bud Cort and Ruth.
Gordon.
Ruth Gordon.
I haven't seen Harold and Maude, but I have watched all the relevant scenes on Pornhub. So
there's actually
the meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
the meat and potatoes. You know that and Mulholland Drive. You know those are the movies.
So what was the name of the movie? And I'm sorry, I caught it.
My First Mister.
My First Mister.
2002-ish.
So yeah, that's pretty much in the height of when Lily Sobieski was actually
right. I think she's coming off her Joyride success, and this was like her sleeper film.
It was success from Joyride. Okay.
I enjoy Joyride.
Justin, what about you?
My pick for underrated movie has to be Speed Racer. It got shit on. It is a solid kids movie. It is revolutionary in the way they filmed it. They made both the forefront of the action and like the background is all in like super HD. It's really ahead of its time. It's if you're comparing it like people, you know, for example, Ant-Man and the Wasp got a good Rotten Tomatoes score. That movie is hot dog shit. This movie, Speed Racer, is a quality film with a couple really solid twists. A lead character you can get behind. A female lead that doesn't like get captured and need to be rescued. She has agency the whole time. You know, she is a badass who can fight and can race on her own goddamn terms. Highly recommend it. Give it another watch in 2020. Unfairly maligned by a lot you.
I will watch it provided you stop yelling at us.
Sorry. I get passionate when I talk about Speed Racer.
You would have sold me on it if you were a little more excited.
I could be that, Nathan.
I know you can.
Please don't.
I loved you, Nathan. By the way, I loved you in Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, thank you, Justin.
I mean, I actually will have to give Speed Racer a first watch. I've yet to see it.
I've always wanted to see it.
I've never wanted to see it.
I don't know.
And I don't even like The Matrix very much, but I always wanted to see that movie.
So, I never really wanted to see it, but now since Justin was so muted with his admiration of it, I will now have to see it.
If you don't like it, you're wrong.
So now, Nathan, what about you?
I had a couple so I don't know what constitutes being underrated because I've mentioned certain movies on Justin's podcast our page a few times, but I don't know if this is underrated. People seem to like it. Match Point. Has anyone? I rewatched Match Point recently. It's a
Woody Allen movie.
Woody Allen.
It's a rare sort of Woody Allen drama. And it's just a weird kind of.
ScarJo's in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw it. I've never seen any Woody Allen movies outside of the movie Ants. Weirdly enough.
Oh, well, in my opinion, if we're gonna get on Ants, in my opinion, Ants is better than Bug's Life. Come at me. Come at me.
I won't argue that with you.
No, A Bug's Life's better. A Bug's Life's better.
Ants is gritty. Ants is like, it's I feel like it's a little more adult. So
it's true. I'm gonna put in my 2 cents for B movie.
Oof! No.
Speaking of bug-related movies, but no, Match Point is kind of a cool. It has a. I don't want to spoil anything, but it definitely has a tonal change in the middle of it.
Okay,
it's kind of like very interesting, and obviously, like from a Woody Allen movie, you expect like somewhat of a comedy, but it's like none of that. I don't know, and I had another. Are we each doing one pick?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You can do another one.
Just go ahead. You've taken it.
There's a good romantic comedy that I like that Michael Showalter did. Like, I don't know what year, maybe mid 2000s, called The Baxter. Anyone see that?
Yes, I have.
I like The Baxter. It's kind of the plot of it is like about the guy in every romantic comedy that gets left at the altar.
Yeah. Oh no!
The girl leaves the romantic interest for
the Bill Pullman character.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, hey, Bill Pullman got the girl while you were sleeping.
Only one.
Baseballs.
Once.
And baseballs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was before. That was before he found his niche. That was like, yeah.
President while aliens are attacking.
Yeah, and did he get laid in that movie? No, he did not.
And they say we don't need a space force.
Yeah, I know.
I've never seen The Baxter, but I have like this distinct memory of like being at a like a Hollywood video when I was probably like 22 or 23, like back before all DVD rental places just went bunk, right? And discovering a DVD copy of The Baxter and being like, oh, Michael Showalter did this, and like reading the and like, I've never heard of this movie, and then putting it back and then never thinking about it again until this moment.
Yeah, it's fun.
Justin, can you turn on your mic a little bit?
Oh, sorry about that, dude.
No worries. Thank you. No, The Baxter, Michael Showalter, a huge fan of The State. I've always been a huge fan of The State. The 10, was it The 10, which is a great film with David Wayne. Did that.
Also, I can't think of his name. Tyrion Lannister. I can't think of the actor.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, he makes a nice little appearance in The Baxter as well.
A nice little appearance.
Peter Dinklage has.
I realized that as it left my mouth.
Peter Dinklage has probably one of the best appearances as a dwarf in any film. Was Living in Oblivion, where he played the dwarf actor in the movie, and they were doing a dream sequence, and he had to hold out an apple for the woman, for the lead actress to reach for. And he basically just stops and he goes, he stops and he just stops the entire production, and he's like, why is it a dream sequence? Because there's a dwarf in it. I'm a fucking dwarf, and I don't dream about fucking dwarfs. That's a great film too. That's another underrated film, Living in Oblivion, with Steve Buscemi as the director.
There seems to be a big gap between the best dwarf actor and the second best dwarf actor. It's Peter Dinklage, and then there's a
Warwick Davis.
There we go.
and then it's like Mickey from Seinfeld.
I was gonna say the dude from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
What about the prostitute from Total Recall?
Oh.
Quaid?
It was a dwarf prostitute. Yeah, she's pretty good.
I didn't remember much after the three-breasted prostitute, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
It was pretty much it when I was that age for watching Total Recall. I was like, wow, 3 breasts, nice. What else is going on?
Sweet.
Let's play Tecmo Super Bowl.
Mike, what about you?
Okay, so when I heard that I was going to come on this and discuss underrated movies, I went through just my entire DVD Blu-ray collection.
Yeah, you did.
List of movies that I thought were underappreciated for whatever reason. And some of them are like, big budget movies that just never really achieved
Greatness.
well, what society at large thought was greatness, even though maybe I thought that they did. Or, but there's some things that are just kind of obscure or semi-foreign. So I wasn't really quite sure how to narrow it down.
Semi-foreign.
Semi-foreign?
That's
okay,
quite
well,
a-
okay, fine.
What an adjective.
Language, but not from the United States.
Okay.
Ireland or New Zealand or Australia.
That's what conservatives call Puerto Rico.
Fair enough. So I wasn't really sure which one to. If I have to single out one, I'm not really...
just go with a couple.
All right, fine. Because you gave out a John Carpenter movie, I'm giving out a James Cameron movie, and it's The Abyss. I love The Abyss. And a lot of people, I don't know, it's just never gotten kind of the recognition that I thought it always kind of deserved, even though there's like 2 big cuts of that movie. There's 2 versions of that movie. And there's the one that came out theatrically, and then there's one that actually also came out there's a longer version, which is like 3 hours long, that they actually did a theatrical release of a couple years later because they didn't have time to finish the visual effects. And to be honest, the longer version is too fucking long. It's too long. It tries too hard, and there's a lot of filler. And somewhere between the theatrical version and the longer one is like an amazing movie. And there's things that they did in that movie that were incredibly hard to do. If you've ever worked on a film set, and even more so, like if you've ever in your life even once gone scuba diving, it's like, this is no way to make a movie. Ed Harris almost died. He almost drowned making that movie.
Wow.
And there's a documentary on the very primitive DVD that's out of that movie. And it was produced a while back. It was produced in the early 90s. There's a doc on the DVD where they have most of the cast, the ones who agreed to talk about it. Not everybody did because they were so distraught over the making of it. But
is the Abyss one where it's flunking, or is that The Descent? I feel like I mixed those two up.
No, I also love The Descent. The Descent is great too.
Okay, I feel like I mix those two up all the time.
Yeah, no. The Abyss is underwater. The Descent is in a cave.
I just remember the Abyss came out the same time as like Leviathan and Deep Impact and Deep Rising.
It was Deep Star 6 or something.
Deep Star 6.
They all came out in 1989.
Yeah.
In the movie theater, and there's some. If you want to see it, it's almost like a preview of stuff that James Cameron did later on. There's a lot of stuff, especially from Avatar. It's like he was just messing around when he was doing The Abyss. Like, I'm going to revisit a lot of the stuff, even the color palette. It's like blues and pinks, and there's aliens, and I don't know. But there's probably some of the best acting you'll see in a James Cameron movie in that movie. And people almost literally drowned while they were making that movie. And if you watch it, it's really intense. And they've never come out with a good Blu-ray of it. Supposedly, James Cameron's been working on when he's not Avatar at the end of fucking time. He's been working on like a 4K DVD or Blu-ray, whatever the fuck you call it. Pardon my friend. But yeah, it's pretty intense, and it's pretty amazing what they did. And there was some of the some of the best first like photorealistic CGI that was ever done. Like all the stuff you saw in Terminator 2 with the liquid metal and all that, they wouldn't have been able to do that without the Abyss. It was like
I'm super intrigued now.
So
I will check it out.
and it's got a lot of good small characters. There's that's another thing in James Cameron movies that I like a lot. Whether it's Aliens or the Terminator movies or even Titanic, is like there's a lot of small characters and they have goofy dialogue, but they have personality.
Peter Dinklage.
Not yet. Maybe, is he in the new Avatar movies? I don't know. I hope so.
He might be.
That would be awesome if he were.
Yeah, I'm not exactly looking forward for Avatar. I wasn't a fan of the first one.
No, it was.
And,
I'm
very
okay. I like The Abyss a lot more than I like Avatar. So, but I have many others I can mention. But hey,
one thing about we mentioned The Descent. Has anybody seen the extended alternate ending to The Descent?
Yes,
it's unbelievable how good it is.
It's really good.
It's well worth it. I would definitely search out the alternate ending to the Descent if you get a chance to.
Ooh, okay.
It changes the entire outcome of the movie.
Interesting.
Yes, it does.
So that was underrated movies. So anybody got one last? How about I just run around one last movie that you think is underrated? Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Love that movie. Anybody seen it? Nobody's seen it. No. Okay. All right. Anybody in the chat seen it? Show enough? Yes. Okay, good. I got one person. Emmy, what about you?
Another movie that I absolutely love is called Dirty Pretty Things. I believe it's British. I remember I saw it when I was in London in college, and it's Audrey Tautou, and I feel like I'm going to say his name wrong, but Chiwetel Ejiofor, and a couple other actors that like you've seen other stuff. If anyone's seen Pan's Labyrinth, the really horrible Spanish general, he's in it. And, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, the Queen from I think like season 5 or 6, who's like in episode that is it's very random, but she's in it. It's really good. It's very understated. It's kind of not quite a thriller, but it's like sort of balancing the line between a drama and a thriller, and it's really, really good and interesting.
Cool.
So I highly recommend that. Dirty Pretty Things.
Justin.
I'm going to pick a movie not a lot of people have seen it. It's called The Godfather.
All right,
your turn.
It's a little underrated gem. You might want to check it out. It's got this up and coming actor named Al Pacino. You might have heard of it.
I'm gonna make myself. I'm gonna out myself here. I've never seen The Godfather.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never Marlon Brando makes a cameo.
Marlon Brando makes the cameo.
Marlon Brando? No way.
A titular
I love that guy.
It's pretty good. You should check it out.
He just pops in and goes, "I'm the Godfather."
Hey,
that's me. Is that the guy that starred in The Island of Dr. Moreau? Is it the same guy?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Famous for Dr. Moreau.
Speaking of that, if you have never seen the documentary about the Island of Dr. Moreau,
fantastic.
Look it up.
Yeah,
I'll have to.
I feel like we've talked about it, but I haven't actually seen it yet, and I should.
Do yourself a gigantic favor.
Yeah, watch. Also watch if you like documentaries. Watch the Lost in La Mancha.
Yeah, that too.
Which is about
a documentary because this is all the disasters, and they're all.
Yeah. So Nathan,
it was a disaster.
I went down a path years ago of just Alfred Hitchcock movies, and my favorite one is one that I think a lot of people haven't seen. Is called Strangers on a Train.
Good one, very good.
So that's like my that's like my that's like my that actor in that is amazing. And,
wasn't that Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito? There,
correct. Yes.
So much
and Andre.
That movie is so underrated. I
love that.
My family we grew up watching that movie, so we'll just randomly quote it. Mostly, was it not Anne Rice? And Ramsey. We'll just be like, Owen, I want some cake and toast for breakfast, goddammit! Don't burn it!
Danny DeVito is insane in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like cows. That's my favorite part. Cows.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what about you?
That movie.
One last movie. We'll do that.
One last movie. Okay. Fine. We're going obscure. Semi-obscure. Heavenly
Foreign.
It is foreign. It's New Zealand. It's in English, but it's foreign.
Peter Jackson.
Heavenly Creatures.
Yeah, Kate
Not
Winslet.
obscure at all. Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. But most people in America, anyway, have not seen it. And I remember watching it on video at film school in 1997, and I was like completely blown away by it. And I still watch it probably at least once a year. It just knocks me out because it's like it was a pretty low budget movie, but the subject of it was just so compelling and intriguing, and they did such inventive things creating the sort of the fantasy world that these two girls have. And it's just little stuff, but it's really hard to do. And even if, now some of the effects look pretty cheesy, but the relationship between the two girls is kind of amazing. And it gave us, Kate Winslet and Melanie Linsky, and they're both great.
What was funny was when Lord of the Rings was first coming out. I remember the poster said from Peter Jackson, the director of The Frighteners, and I was like, "Who the fuck cares about the director of The Frighteners?" Yeah. I love The Frighteners. Don't get me wrong, but don't get me wrong. It was just this weird selling point of Peter Jackson, the director of The Frighteners, and I'm like, I'm looking at it going, I thought I was one of the only 5 people who saw that fucking movie.
I really Peter Jackson, director of Dead Alive.
Yeah.
Oh, Dead Alive is fantastic.
I love that movie. Oh my god, it's so good.
I liked The Frighteners, but it's only because I was a big fan of Jake Busey. I just had a poster of Jake Busey on my wall as a kid.
Did you not sleep? That would keep you up at night.
No one stands Jake Busey more than I do.
I don't know that anyone stands Jake Busey.
Oh yeah, that's
Contact. He's very big in Contact. Another kind of underrated.
Oh yeah. I'm okay.
Wasn't Jake Busey in a movie like recently? And it was just like, and like halfway through the movie, I was just like, oh, that's Jake Busey. Or he's on a show or something. I don't know. Maybe he was on a season of Fargo. I don't know. But
something where he's not playing either like a psycho or like an asshole. I feel like
he's got to play a psycho.
One of those, or both.
Yeah, there's a show I'm watching right now, Barkskins, which is like a National Geographic show, and I was like, oh my god, is that Matthew Lillard? I was like, Matthew Lillard doing in a period piece.
No, Matthew
Zoinks!
Hey, gotta give him credit for SLC Punk though.
Yeah. So I'm watching Cosmos the other day with Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's like, it's Jake Busey. He's playing Neptune.
It's like Gary Busey playing. It's like Gary Busey playing a cop in Point Break. All right, so that was the banter. We went on a little bit, but that's good. Yeah, it was definitely banter.
It qualifies as banter.
The next segment of the show is actually prove it to us. Basically, you're an expert in something. You like to pretend you're an expert in something, or you are an expert in something. Basically, I'm just going to ask you kind of just talk about what you're an expert in for a little bit. Get to know what you know, and kind of go from there. I'm going to start with you, Justin.
Oh fuck. I don't even know what I would be an expert in. Probably if we just go by my pandemic quarantine habits, it's watching Smash Bros tournament footage. I watch at least like an hour of that on YouTube every day.
Nice.
And then I spend at least an hour a day playing Smash. So
it's probably better than my 2-hour a day Minecraft habit. So
really, I want to see some of your creations, man. I want to see.
No, not playing Minecraft, watching Minecraft.
You watch Minecraft? I've watched a little Minecraft. It can be soothing.
Yeah. I'm not embarrassed about it at all. Okay, end of show.
Yeah, but
So anything else to impart about Smash Brothers?
MK Leo is currently the best. It's the best player in the world right now. He's a Mexican player. He's pretty good.
Cool.
He's got a pretty ruthless byleth. And his Ike can fuck as well.
I used to play. I played a ton of Smash Brothers like in college, and up until that point, and then I have the new Smash Brothers now. We got to play sometime, but
yeah,
I'm not on that next level that a lot of people seem to be.
Listen, I played actually with somebody who's probably a mutual Facebook friend of a lot of ours. I'm not going to name him, but somebody known for talking a lot of shit online. And we played one day, and like
you played with yourself.
No, this was a guy who kind of looks like me, actually.
No, that's my expertise.
That's your expertise.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your Jake used to have it.
That's what Nathan's been doing this entire time.
Right.
But I kicked his ass so bad that like after like 3 matches, I think I was Piranha Plant and he was Mega Man, and he just walked off stage 3 times. It was just like it's cool to know how good you are or something, and like he just dipped out like after like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh
awesome.
Shit, man, all right, it's gonna be like that, like.
So you didn't. That's like when you don't just win, like you've hurt somebody.
Yeah, which I wasn't even. Here's the thing: I wasn't even like teabagging or anything. Like usually, sometimes I can be super toxic and just like teabag when your character just you just keep going up and down, fuck you, But no, this guy he was not having it. It was so funny because like this dude brags about how much he gets blocked on Twitter by people.
I remember I Ric Flair chopped my college roommate one time because he was kicking my ass so bad in Smash Brothers. It was just like an impulsive like muscle reflex. I was like,
it can be violent, dude.
I was like immediately after, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't even know what came over me.
I got punched by my kid's sister once.
Yeah,
because of Smash Brothers, she literally just falled back and punched me in the face.
Listen, it can make you violent, man. It's video games, dude. They cause violence.
It is a very frustrating game. Yeah, if anything were to cause violence, it's not Doom or Duke Nukem. It's Smash Brothers.
It's Mario.
It can get very frustrating.
So, Mike, what's your expert topic?
I was just trying to think of something goofy, and yes, there are many goofy things about me. But I was thinking of.
Doesn't have to be goofy, man.
Oh, it's goofy. Trust me. So, I'm the youngest of all my siblings, and I have 2 big sisters. And I, came of age in the 80s and 90s. So I would say for a man of my age, I have kind of a disproportionately acute knowledge of chick flicks from the 80s and 90s because I was forced to watch them as a child and as a teen. Because when you're the little brother, you don't have any control over the remote control. And you know what? And people got to shit on those movies, and that's it's not really fair. Just some of them, they're not terrible movies. Well, some of them are terrible.
From the 80s or 90s.
Huh?
Which is your favorite chick flick from the 80s or 90s?
I gotta say it's Mystic Pizza. It has to be Mystic Pizza. It's Mystic Pizza, I think, because when you watch that movie came out, it screams end of the 80s.
Yeah, it does.
Especially the hair.
Yup.
That all those chicks had. It was because that was Julia Roberts right before Pretty Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other, and who was it? It was Lily Taylor, who I just watched in The Conjuring. I just saw The Conjuring for the first time on Halloween. I'd never seen it before.
Oh, it's so good. I love The Conjuring.
Anyway, and you love Lily Taylor. But like they were all trying to have this kind of big, not like the huge 80s thing, but sort of this horse's mane thing where and there were all the troubled men in their lives. And
was there like Andrew McCartney coming in as like the rich kid?
But he's not in it. Who? But Matt Damon had his first speaking role in that movie.
Oh.
Julia Roberts plays this kind of working class Portuguese girl, because of course that's when you call Julia Roberts.
Right.
Working class Portuguese girl in Mystic, Connecticut. Julia Roberts. Anyway, it worked out well for everybody. But yeah, she goes to her rich waspy boyfriend's family dinner, and Matt Damon plays like her boyfriend's little brother.
Okay.
And they're all eating lobster.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon is like, "Hey, Dad, we eat my green stuff." That's his one line. And then, like, years later, they're all in like Ocean's 11 and some such. but like,
That was the unofficial prequel.
if it's on TV, and if it's like, or if it's like a rainy day, I'll watch it because, frankly, it kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and my sisters were essentially that age at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit of a nostalgia trip, and there are other ones that I had to watch, and I won't list them all, but I had to watch them. Steel Magnolia, and not like rom-coms, because that's different. There's rom-coms and chick flicks, different things.
They are. Chick flick is like, yeah, Steel Magnolia is
all about like the eternal bonds of sisterhood and all that.
Beaches.
And then there's rom-coms, which are romantic pain. Those are two different things.
Correct. I agree.
So I had to watch a lot of chick flicks.
I like romantic comedies. I think I figured out that I kind of like romantic comedies, but I like weird, weird ones. I like ones that kind of like different, like something that they, not the cookie cutter ones, but
like the Baxter.
Like the Baxter, yeah,
yeah.
Or they came together.
Yeah.
No one said serendipity. Thank you.
But yeah, they
is. Well, no, I don't like that one.
Well, I had an experience with serendipity where there was a woman behind me who was so amazed that everything came together at the end. She actually was yelling out in the theater. She was like, "Oh my God, she caught the glove! She caught the glove!"
Of course, man.
I can't.
I literally turned around to her, and I was like, "Oh my God, they rolled the credits! Oh my God,
holy shit!"
That's how Josh met his wife.
I keep tormenting my my girlfriend with the idea that I was like, this is the year I make you watch Love Actually.
It's a great movie.
This is the year I make you watch it. And she's like more of a man than I am, so.
Nathan, what about you? What are you an expert in?
I'm probably an expert in what you might be an expert in as well, considering. But like pro wrestling knowledge. Yeah. I'm just a pro wrestling geek. I've been watching it since as long as I've been alive. I think a lot of
I'm with you, Emmy.
people in comedy are.
Yeah.
I think that seems to be a weird trend in comedy too. So
well, we've got a whole wrestling show with all comedians, so yeah. Yeah,
I just sent in my promo, and I realized I forgot to actually mention the match itself. I'm building to the new repackaging character.
Yeah, I've repackaged mine 4 times so far. So
there you go. See that, and honestly, that's art reflecting fake life. That is how pro wrestling kind of works. It's
yeah.
Like, oh, that didn't work. Let's just scrap it. No need for continuity.
Or because Vince just hates it.
Yeah. Vince hates it. Let's just scrap it.
I'm surprised that I never got into pro wrestling because I look like I'm into pro wrestling.
You look like you're into pro wrestling.
You literally look like you say it's still real to me. Damn it!
Yeah.
You were that guy, weren't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Still real to me, damn it. I did have a "it's still real to me, damn it" moment last year. I met Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh wow!
And I just totally marked out. Like I was like, oh, you're one of my favorite wrestlers. He's just like, all right, buddy, okay. He's like, this guy's got good taste.
I met Brutus Beefcake at a restaurant in Newton.
Oh, nice.
He was just sitting behind me. He was sitting behind me. My stepfather's like, he looks familiar. And I looked around. I was like, oh my God, that's Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Holy shit. And I was like, Brutus.
I like the fun fact that Brutus the Barber Beefcake's original gimmick was basically like a Chippendales dancer, like a male stripper. and then they like changed, and then like went to WWF, and Vince McMahon was just like, hold these scissors, you're a barber now.
I still love the fact that he's Hulk Hogan's cousin and no one knows.
Oh yeah, that is a weird fact. But yeah, and then he still wore these like strippery tights through his whole career. That like he had like these tights on, and his like ass cheeks would be like almost like mesh.
Yeah,
and like a barber would wear. Like they didn't change his ring gear at all. So it was just like he went from this Chippendales dancer looking guy. His name was Brutus the Barber. His last name Beefcake, which would imply stripper.
Didn't he take tokens in the T for a while too?
What's that?
After wrestling, wasn't he a token taker at the T for a while?
I don't know that.
I think so. Or something about the T. It might have been the cocaine that got him caught at the T. Something.
It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah.
Emmy, what about you?
Well, despite my assistant's appearance, I will not say I'm an expert in cats. I enjoy cats. But I would say I probably am an expert in probably musicals.
Okay.
I'm a big theater nerd. I've seen many musicals in my time. My parents are both journalists, so my mom took me to see many shows because she was either doing an article or she was interviewing somebody, and I like got to tag along. So I've seen many, not as many as I've gotten older because I don't live in New York anymore. But
and you're not a millionaire yet.
And I'm not a millionaire
yet.
Okay. What are you eating? Stop it! Oh, sorry.
What's your favorite musical?
Stop it! I covered it with a napkin, and that didn't seem to do the trick. Fired.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. What's your favorite musical? Cats?
I still can't bring myself to watch the movie yet. I feel like I need a lot of booze for that. So I'm waiting for, God damn it, Theo. So I would say my favorite musicals are Into the Woods and Gypsy, and I also love Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I have Hedwig and the Angry Inch was my first tattoo when I turned a tattoo. And if anyone knows the musical Hedwig and the Angry Inch, I got the same tattoo that Hedwig has. If you don't know what that looks like, you can Google it and it'll show you.
Did you see my cat?
I'm kidding.
Much more well behaved than my cat.
Just left out with no kid.
No. She used to be. We got a kitten recently, and when we got a kitten, it was like he just became like, oh, I'm good now. I'll behave. It's like he just suddenly became like a good cat. Was like would chase my. They like to chase my feet. I have very alluring feet.
Because I have two of them, and when they were kittens, they absolutely destroyed my feet. Like I couldn't sleep because I had to sleep like perfectly still. Because if I moved slightly, they'd be like, and their little nails are like little daggers.
Yeah,
this kitten likes to lick my eyelids, and like he'll put his paw on my face and just go. And like,
kitten or girlfriend? I'm not.
Oh, well, we can get into kinks all you want. I don't know what kind of show this is, but Justin can attest.
Oh, it's a late night show.
Yeah, I think we just unlocked a new expertise.
Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't know what you're talking about here.
Right, so that was expert topics. That was prove it to us. So basically, I'm going to move on now to something I call them guilty pleasures, but then they're really stuff that you might enjoy that people don't know you enjoy. The one I always use is that I love those. I used to love those Rock of Love, Daisy of Love, Flavor of Love shows.
Oh yeah.
I still have them DVR'd and watch them pretty regularly. Not that regularly, but I do watch them. So that's kind of I'm not really guilty about it, but it's something that you may not expect that I enjoy. So that's kind of what I'm asking for now. Mm-hmm. I call it guilty pleasures, but I've had so many people tell me I'm not guilty about it. I'm like, you don't have to open with that every single time.
Maybe call them not so guilty pleasures.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'll do. So what's your not so guilty pleasure, Mike?
I have many.
But the one that immediately leaps to mind is Rick Steves' Europe on PBS, which is a show. Yeah, and blank stare. There you go. I've written sketches about this, and no one under the age of 50 knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Rick Steves is a very gentle nerd who has become wildly successful going around Europe and telling boring old white Americans how to travel around Europe. Like he was going from country to country doing nothing like that's genuinely fun, nothing that's genuinely like sexy or like exciting. It's just like, hi, I'm Rick Steves. Hi, welcome to Belgium. This is where they make the chocolate.
I do know who that is.
Yeah, so do I.
And I thought he is on PBS every night, and he is like the anti Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
And I love them both. I love them both, and I'm so jealous of both of their careers. But like Rick Steves is just it's like taking a warm, really boring bath. It's like taking a tour of Europe with your high school math teacher.
What qualifies as an exciting bath?
I thought we were getting into it. I don't know. It's I won't go as far. It's like a foot rub from a nerd.
I was gonna say the bath from Pee-wee's Big Adventure that what's his face has, because that bathtub was epic.
Yeah. And now I'm thinking of tour guides because I love Jan Hooks in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That's a wonderful tour guide. Rick Steves is just this very boring man from Oregon. He's very blonde and very he's so even.
I do remember that because I think we watched a couple of those in language classes that we took, like just for like in German class. I think we watched a Rick Steves.
Yeah.
And he's been around for a while.
Oh yeah. And I've watched
probably
80%
or whatever.
So. I think he's immortal. Actually, I think he's a Highlander. So there could be only one Rick Steves.
Yeah.
That's
about it. I think I've seen two of his works.
It's very calming. It's like Bob Ross. PBS knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So Emmy, what about you?
I mean, this is going to be surprising to no one, but I love watching terrible Christmas movies, specifically terrible Christmas rom-coms where it's like, oh, the high power executive has to go to the town in Vermont to close the factory and then falls in love with the factory owner and then learns the meaning of Christmas. And then what? He's Santa too? Like, it's just there. I mean, I've probably like described 3 actual movies that exist. And like, they're so bad. And half the time the acting is terrible. And all of the time the script is terrible. But there's just something like, that's just, I like having them on the background this time of year, and I like when Christmas explodes in my room because I've been like wrapping stuff and writing cards already. So like, yeah, it's just I'll watch ones I've watched in previous years, and then I'll also try to find ones I haven't watched before. And there are some, like Mike was saying with the chick flicks, there are some that are like genuinely enjoyable, and then there are some that are just so bad.
So what's a really well? I would like examples of one. What is one that is actually pretty good, and one that is just so horrendously bad?
So
one
that I genuinely enjoy is okay. So this is fun right here. It's either called the 12 Dates of Christmas or the 12th Date of Christmas, because those are 2 different movies, and I don't remember which one it is.
It doesn't matter.
The 2 different movies blows my mind.
I know, but it's the one that has Amy Smart and Mark Paul Glossier.
That's the 12th.
I miss Amy Smart. I miss Amy Smart.
Right? It's so good. So, and it's basically Groundhog Day, but for Christmas dating. So she like goes on this date with Mark Paul Glossier, and because she like set up with him, and then she has to repeat the day until she like learns the meaning of Christmas, and it like. It's some Christmas movie, so it's still fairly predictable, but I enjoy it because like the acting is better than most, and like Amy Smart's great, and it's like just cheesy enough, and it's fun. And then there was a movie, I think it it was either called like Merry Christmas or Christmas Crush or something like that, where the whole movie was based on the premise of like some girl dressed up to go to a party, kind of like a Cinderella-ish kind of thing, but not really, and then got stuck in an elevator with a stranger, and they had like a weird magical mystical moment, and they kissed in the elevator, and then like the movie they're like trying to find each other or something like that, and then there were like 2 more sequels, so it's like there's 3 of these movies, and they're all stupid, and they all end the same way, and I've watched them all because they're there. So,
what about you, Nathan?
I was trying to think of them this whole time. I'm pretty guilty pleasures. I'm pretty like honest about the things I like. But if I'm gonna have one guilty pleasure, maybe True Blood.
Oh.
If there's one show that I'm like kind of ashamed that I watched all of.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, maybe True Blood.
I just couldn't get enough of him saying "suki."
Okay. Oh, suki. I don't. Ooh. No. I'm just. I can't
say it. Say whatever you were gonna say.
No, because I was gonna say watching simulated wrestling. And that's
we can do that every Thursday night on 2MB Studios.
I'm too in my own element right now for me to have a guilty pleasure, so it's kind of cartoons. So there's nothing that would really be
that's fine.
Too extreme as far as a guilty pleasure.
I think the point of this is really just to talk about something new.
and not treat it like a therapy session.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh boy. Well, my father always drank. He would always say, "I'm a controlled alcoholic," whatever that means.
And that's our show. Justin, real quick with you. What about you?
Okay, so I would have to go with Being the Little Spoon. I don't know if you guys have ever been the little spoon, but it's great. You got somebody's arms around you. You can feel like their breath on the back of your neck. You feel safe for like the first time in a while. It's great. Highly recommend. 5 out of 5 stars. Being the Little Spoon.
I'm 6'4", 300 pounds. There's no way I'm a little spoon.
That's also mine.
And my fiance, she's a very short person, so it's like I'm wearing her like a backpack. We gotta. It's like a low grade Banjo Kazooie cosplay. It's fantastic.
That's goddamn adorable. Come on.
So that's our show, everybody. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching us. Please subscribe and like 2MB Studios. I think but subscribe to 2MB Studios. Thank you to Emmy. Thank you to Justin. Thank you to Mike. Thank you to Nathan. Thank you to Matt behind the booth. Thank you to Rachel for helping fill out the. Thank you for Rachel for helping to fill out the audience. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you to me. Thank you to 2MB Studios. Thank you. We're here every night, every Tuesday night at 9:00. Thanks again. See you all later. Bye.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.